You're back with Bek and Zach. This is our final point in this particular part of the journey. Although I know for me, this is something we've talked about for some time together, but it's hitting in deeper layers. And I hope for those listening, it is as well. And I know for you, you consider it a lifelong journey. But there is one more space that you wanted to speak about.
Yeah.
And I suppose my question for you is, when you've been on this journey and you've seen all these things happen, the reality is sometimes opposition or rejection still comes.
Yep.
And what do you do in that space?
Yeah. And it's, I guess, just like all the other layers, it's not necessary. But in this one, I would say if you've really gone through the journey we've described, it's almost guaranteed. But again, all the way up, the first 6 layers of this is you do it. These last 2, the peacemaker that we did last time, it's not that you're doing anything, it's just you are, and people will relate to you and you will be bringing peace. But it's not because you are trying to do anything. Same with this one is people will be against you and you will suffer for your journey through this. And the reason for that becomes quite obvious. If someone's all they want is power, control, manipulation, all these things, and you've just broken through all of that and gotten freedom from all of it, and you no longer play those games, and you'll call out whatever, you'll be honest. So you're shining light into any dark motives. As soon as you're present, they get exposed. Those people are not going to be happy with you. They're going to actually really work against you because they can't control you and they can't get what they want from you. Therefore, you will definitely face incredible opposition from all those who are playing the manipulation games, the power games, those who are full of lies and all that evil in the world. You will be the enemy number 1 because you're out of control, according to them. So, and you expose them just by your presence. Is like just not by you trying to expose the truth, but you just who you are will be exposing. And we all know those people in history that as they were living this way, many were killed. It's very common to be killed for shining light on injustice, but also loving your enemies. That one was a big one of what we talked about. When you love your enemies that you are truly living as you're meant to be, or a child of God or whatever. Like you are, your persecution, if that's the word we would use for this, people coming against you for this is unfortunately mostly going to come from your own people. And that's something I didn't understand a long time ago, and didn't. When you feel you're persecuted earlier on in the journey, you just go, "What's going on?" You don't understand what's going on. But I've come to realize most people are persecuted by their own people, who don't want the enemies to be blessed. They want what's right for us, not what's right for everybody. And as soon as someone who has a vision that's actually what's right for all, they have to get rid of that. They have to silence you, insult you, do everything to discredit you, because they can't control that message, and it works against their agendas, what they're trying to grab and keep hold of, and so that's a little bit of where. I don't know where you'd put this on a mountain. I don't know if this is the dangerous descent, or I don't know, but there's every layer of this takes you into a more beautiful place and a deeper relationship. Mm-hmm. And when you've already died, you could poke me, I'm not going to flinch. This layer doesn't impact you in the way it would have earlier. It's actually fine. I'm already ready to be for whatever outcome. And so what it does is it takes you even deeper in relationship with those who you've gone through and said, I just love you no matter what. It becomes almost a joy and a deepening as I'm being hurt and attacked for your sake. I joyfully do it. And we become even closer with every blow, because every blow is an act of love from me for you. I'm not embarrassed to be seen by you. You know, that's one sign of that. It's like we often pull away, you know, someone gets canceled and suddenly everyone disappears.
Right.
The real friend is the one that's still there.
Right.
And that they're there at a cost to their reputation.
Right.
The cost, but no, I'm still going to be with you, even if you got canceled by the world. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to be ashamed of you.
Yeah.
I'm still there. Whoa. It's a deeper act of love.
I have so many different ways I want to go, but let me just follow this train of thought, because I think there's such beauty and purity in what you're saying. But again, the honesty piece has to come into it, because I'm thinking of a situation that happened recently, like not uncommon. Someone in my world found out not treating people well. I won't go into detail. Standing with that person for their sake is my heart. But what about when standing with them means pain for someone else? Like, I don't know the victims. I only know this person.
Yep. Yeah.
How do we wrestle with the real atrocities and still the openness for redemption without making it more painful for people?
Yeah. Honestly, with this one, I think it's in that zone of the miraculous. Like, you don't know until you're there what is the way of love for that situation, and it will look different with each one. And I can't really say I know how to do it, but when your heart is in this full state of surrendered love, you'll be able to access that and find it. But
So maybe could I say what you might be saying is, when that happens, that process of laying down might then show the path to what's right for that moment and those people. And again, it's not me trying to go, I want to be ready to step in and care for that person, but it's in my surrender of that.
Yep. Yeah. And I think, again, you were right. The very key comes right back to the beginning, which is absolute honesty and humility. And if that person who's done something wrong that you want to love, but you don't want to hurt the victims, cannot be honest, they continue to lie and they keep saying, oh, it wasn't a big deal, I didn't really do it, then it's not, honestly, you're back at the beginning, it's fine. But you can't do a dishonest standing next to them while they're being dishonest. Right. Because you don't do that anymore. You're like, hey, that's not true. But I'll stand with you. I'll help you recover and rehabilitate if you'll be honest and confess everything and walk this out with the victims. And but if you refuse to, then we're back at one. But and that's okay. Yeah. I'll meet you there. Yeah. But I'm not going to meet you in this, like, pretend that we're all the way and I'm going to stand by you loyally forever when it's absolutely not on truth and they're refusing the truth. Right. So I think that's the safeguard again, always, is truth, like being honest, and that comes at a great cost. But I think what I'm thinking is not, it's not for unrighteousness that you're being persecuted in the framework of what Jesus is teaching. Sure. Blessed are you who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. So when you stand by someone who is actually, not just when you stand by them, but when you are in right relationship with everyone and people are angry about that with you because you're not on a side, you're actually in good relationship with everyone, but they hate each other and they're against you, and they'll be against you just for the sake, because you accept that other side. Yeah. And there's a blessing in that will take you deeper in relationship with the people you're standing with. So what about self-deception? Oh, and this idea that we think that we're doing the right thing. And so,
this conflict must be because I am doing the right thing. And some people even go so far to say,
Yeah,
like,
I know.
if you're not facing conflict, you're not living well. Like,
I know. Yeah. I think that's where I've been very frustrated over the years because people claim to be martyrs and claim to be persecuted for righteousness. But it's like, we all know, everyone else knows you're just a jerk online. And it's so obvious you're just being a jerk and you're closed-minded and you're not being honest. But no, I'm being persecuted. But the key is, if you ever want to know, is this blessed, like the good kind of persecution, or is it just they're using that as a defense mechanism? Go, well, I'm being persecuted for my faith or my stand on justice, or just see, is there any blessing? Is it actually deepening any relationship in any direction?
yeah.
When they get hit, does it deepen relationship? I think of, I'm trying not to use too many specific examples because I know every example is a little bit loaded in world history. But I can think of some that when they died, it galvanized the country and it changed something. I think of Martin Luther King Jr. He wasn't a perfect man or any of that, but when he was killed, it broke through relationships. It wasn't the full end, but there's other deaths that just completely bring division, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we can see that when you're being persecuted, does it deepen your relationship with the people that you're standing with and like caring for? And when I'm talking about that, I'm thinking of friends, but also I'm thinking of like these people I meet who are in these horrible situations, and when they see that I'm willing to put my name with them, I'm willing to be in photos with them, I'm willing to like stand by them in the midst of their enemies.
Yeah.
Oh, that means so much because they know I'm sacrificing, and that proves my love even more, and it bonds us even more, and that's the blessing that comes when it's right, but when it's not, because the suffering is not bringing anything positive.
So I'm thinking of a moment. It wasn't a moment. It was a season. It was a complex network of relationships where I felt that. Like I felt the process, the humility, the grief, the meekness and the gentleness, the letting go of agenda and outcomes. And then the criticism came. And I'm reflecting on what I felt in my heart, because you're saying don't be poked. Like, you're not dead if you're poked and you react.
Yeah.
And I think that the persecution just made me really sad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is that...
Oh, it's...
I'm not trying to find an example, but I'm just trying to reflect. Is that a sign? Like, we're there?
Yeah, because, I mean, it's definitely not nice. Like, it's so painful. But what's interesting is at the end of this journey in Matthew 5, like it says, blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of God, which is exactly where it started, the poor in spirit. Basically tying it together, saying now you're back to the beginning, and it humbles you again. And that's part of the blessing of it. And I'm grieving again. And you go back through. But it's a deeper cycle this time.
Yeah.
Because your suffering now is out of this whole amazing journey of love. And now I'm going back through even deeper. And it builds on where you were before.
Yeah.
But it humbles you. It brings you right back to honesty and humility and back to grief.
Yeah.
And back to meekness. Now I'm going to respond in gentleness. I'm not going to try to control the PR and, no, I'm not going to like attack back, even though I know this is unfair. I'm being treated unfair. I'm going to care about and want the best for the people that are hurting me. I'm not just going to care about my state in this unfair persecution situation. And I'm going to pour out mercy and forgiveness. You just go right back through, all the way back up. And you're like, wow.
That's a question I have, because I suppose in my sadness, there's a capacity to hope for honesty. Mm-hmm. To what degree, and again, it's probably situation by situation, but do you re-pursue someone? Like, For instance, that situation has passed and my relationships continue despite that. And yet there is part of me that's probably withheld, even though to everyone else it looks like a fine, flourishing, functioning relationship. There is a piece of me that's withheld because I know there wasn't full honesty in that. And I've never felt compelled to go back because I'm concerned about causing more pain.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know that it's the right time to, is that just something I deal with it within myself and I just let it go?
Yeah.
Or
There's it's true. Like when there's been a death of a relationship or certain things, it is true, and you're sensing it. You can sense when it's a dead thing. You don't just dig up dead things.
Yeah.
Like that's gross. Like no, if we start, it's just gonna be gross. It's not gonna be any useful thing. You don't dig up dead things. But yeah, I think there's one picture that comes to mind is that can I always have my hand open and outstretched to this person? But they have to come meet my hand, which is over here. It's I'm not gonna pull them out and try to chase them down when they're in total lack of humility and lies about all this stuff. Like I can't go there with them because it's not real. That's not reality. But can I keep my hand open is one sense that I feel is like that the door is always open, but this is where my hand is. If you want to reach out or if you want to, you know what I mean? I can't reach beyond what I understand to be truth. I'm open to my truth, that I might be wrong. So I need to keep doing that process of myself, that I'm not just closed-hearted and closed off. But the key is that it's always outstretched and open. And I think a lot of people kind of deceive themselves with that, where they're like, my hands is open, but they need to do this, this, and this. It's like, oh, okay. Your hand's probably over here, and you're like, come over here.
Yeah.
But that's one side. But I think as well, when you ask that, there's a big difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. I said that in the previous episode. Forgiveness can happen at any time. You can do it with or without that person. And they don't even have to apologize. But there's this really strange thing about reconciliation. I don't know if I have time to tell a little parable about it, but it really helps me understand that the wacky unknown dynamic of when is it time to reconcile, when is it time to heal and move forward with whatever was broken. And it's again counterintuitive, and we often get it all wrong. We try too early or we wait too long or whatever, but there is a moment that can come, and it's not in your control at all. That's why it's really hard. We're trying to, like, what do I do? And it's like, usually it's not actually in either person's control, and that's why that word resurrection, it's like, it just happens. It's a miracle that happens at some point, could happen. Sometimes it doesn't. One person's ready, the other person just never is ready. But is it okay to tell a little story?
Yeah, go for it.
It's this parable from a guy, Pete Rollins had a book of little short stories, and there's this one on reconciliation. It says, there's these two guys who are best friends from birth. They're like best friends, grow up together, really close, and they go off to war together in World War I or something, and they fight in the trenches together. It's just really bonds them. They are blood brothers now, more than ever before. And they come back and are living life together, but they end up falling in love with the same girl. But they're such good friends that when she chooses one of them, the other guys, that's great. Like, love you guys, go for it. And they're married for quite a while. But later on in life, this other guy who didn't marry her, he loses his parents in a tragic accident, and overnight he's just shattered. He can't even figure out which way is up. And in friendship, the wife of the other man comes to console him and help and say, how can she help? But really quickly, there's an affair. And instantly, they both are just so guilty. She right away tells her husband, and it's just like right out, because they couldn't live at all with that secret. And the guy who did that came to the husband and begs him at the door, please, 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 my brother, please forgive me. I hate what I did. Please accept my apology. It just begs. And the guy at the door says, I swear to God, I will never accept your apology. And don't ever want to see you again. And closes the door. 10 years goes by, and not a day goes by that man doesn't regret what he did. He's just agonizingly going over it and missing his brother, his best friend, wishing he never happened. Yeah, and after 10 years of that, after that, he goes, you know what? I know he swore to God he would never accept my apology. I know he doesn't want to see me again, but I have to try at least one more time to say I'm sorry, because it's just destroying me, and I need to apologize one more time. He goes, knocks on the door, and the other guy answers it, and he just starts right away. He says, I know you swore to God you'll never accept my apology, and you don't want to see me again, but I had to come back, because not a day has gone by that I don't miss you as a brother and as a friend, and I regret everything I did. I'm so sorry. And says all of his things. And the other guy then answers the door and says, I did swear to God that I would never accept your apology. But over all these years, I've realized, I've reflected and been more honest and realized all the dynamics that created that situation. And we were all broken, and you were hurting, and all of these things. And I have an understanding of everything that happened. And so I still reject your apology, but come in and let's have dinner. And their relationship began anew. And the whole funny thing about that story is that we think apologies are for the other person, but really apologies are for the person giving it. And the purpose of an apology, it's really a test to see, is it ready for reconciliation or not? If the man said, I accept your apology, I forgive you, you're not ready. Because to accept the apology is saying, it kind of keeping you okay, I forgive you, you were wrong and I forgive you. But what he does is he just rejects the apology and says, it's over. And I don't even hold it against you. I reject the apology. Let's go forward. And that's the miraculous moment that reconciliation is actually possible now. If you get to a place with whatever broken relationship where both people can say, stop apologizing, it's over. When we don't even accept the apologies anymore, and
you're not talking about unforgiveness.
No, because forgiveness was, they would have done that in all that journey. Forgiveness is a different thing.
Yeah.
And forgiveness is for you again.
Yes.
Just like the apologies for you. That man needed to hear his apology be rejected for him to be free, to go forward. If he accepted the apology, he'd still have his head down. And, okay, yeah, that's wrong. And you're still, but when he says, I reject your apology, come in, that set the man free to go forward in reconciliation. Yeah. And it's just a miracle. You can't say when or if that will ever happen, but when it does, it's just a miracle. Whoa. And there's a whole new relationship that comes. And you don't know how long. It could be 10 years. It could be 10 minutes. I could bump into you. And if I'm like, no, I'm really sorry. An hour later, you're like, shut up.
Right.
And that's when I know, oh, okay, you really don't care about me bumping into you an hour ago. But other things might take a little longer for you to forgive me, or to not just forgive me, but to say, to release, just stop apologizing. I don't want any more apologies. Please stop. That's when you know reconciliation is possible. And, but it's not in just one person's control. It's both have to somehow get to that place. And maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. But I've seen it happen. I know it's possible to happen, but not many people get there.
Yeah.
And not many people understand that the rejection of the apology is actually the open door to reconciliation. Yeah. So
I said to you like earlier this morning that I'm ready to take time to sit with this, even though we've been talking about this throughout our friendship. Anytime you sit with this, I'm seeing people and relationships and what is that next step looking like? So thank you for the gift of what you've shared. Because I know certainly if I'm in that place, I'm sure there's others in that place as well. And thank you for doing it honestly, not as Zach the peacemaker, but Zach the human being.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering, do you have any other final thoughts for us for our journeys?
Yeah. I think what hits my heart with all of this is this is always sitting before us, but many of us don't even know the first step. And it's a dark place. At the end of all these blessings, it says, you are the light of the world. And that means if you're not living this stuff, you're in darkness. And I think I see that in so many people. They just don't have any light in their life. It just looks like darkness everywhere, and they don't know which way to step. They don't know which way to go. And I think if you've listened to this and you've been in this, my encouragement is even just one step is going to be bringing light to the world and to your family and to your community. And that first step is just humility and honesty and being willing to accept that maybe I'm not right, and maybe I'm not as great as I think I was, and maybe all those things. And I just look at it and think, how many households in Australia or in the world haven't even tasted the first blessing that they could have? Just humility and honesty and not playing games and hiding from each other and, all that manipulation stuff. Like, just that layer. What would happen in our world if we just shared and helped people get to that place, even in our workplace? How much light would come and reveal and cast out darkness and in our schools, in our communities, in our workplace, wherever we are. And that's worthwhile, even if you never even see the other layers unfold. But I really recommend at least the first two. Go and listen to someone's pain, sit with someone in pain, go make sure your life connects with those who are hurting. The suicide rate in Australia is so unthinkably high, particularly around young people and Indigenous. I just think, man, if nothing else, could we at least be beside somebody in their pain? It's easy to say, but I challenge all of us, like, let's really look out for opportunities to actually let our life be a presence of light, and not be afraid of tears. And that's just the beginning. Obviously, we went way further than that, but at least that, I think, is worthwhile in whatever groupings you're in life right now, whatever teams you're on. At least offer that and attempt those first two steps or two layers. The rest, you're going to have to figure out and find your way. But I think, I hope this is really, I felt at least a layer of practical that takes our relationships into the light. So
I love it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing so much of your heart. And for those of you listening, we hope you've enjoyed the journey.